I can't believe it. We're doing it.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but this Modelo isn't going to drink itself, so I'm going to gradually get more drunk throughout this episode.
Getting it.
Dude, yeah, Greg, you're holding a 32 fluid ounce Modelo.
That's right, because they don't sell... Well, actually, they probably do sell 40s somewhere.
I don't know. Do they have 32s and 40s in the same places?
I doubt it.
I don't know. I haven't drank
I haven't seen a 40 in a hot minute.
I remember playing Edward 40 hands in high school. Did you guys ever do that? Where
I've
you
done
tape
that
two
once.
40s to your hands?
Didn't end well.
Dude, I hated the tape. It was itching my hands. But speaking of tape, we have Joe Elgin, our driver, with us today.
Hey, Joe.
I'm here.
We've been
Hi.
hanging out
Welcome.
with Joe and just like learning a lot about him. And Joe's a pretty cool guy.
With some pretty gnarly stories
I
from
got
what I
some
hear.
interesting ones.
You've lived a life, Joe.
I have.
You've been with bands for how long do you think? How long have you been working like the music scene?
My first gig I ever did, I was 12 years old.
Damn, dude.
So,
Don't wait. Get start them early.
You can
Yeah.
start getting paid nothing.
I
at
didn't
that young.
think they
Pretty
let people
much.
drive at that age, but
I did Spotlight. My dad's been a drummer, and so at 2 years old, I was on a tour bus. It was kind of
Oh,
my
that's awesome.
memories of things is mom and dad, or mom waking me up in the middle of the night because we got to go save dad somewhere or something, and throwing me in the back of the station wagon, and we're off to wherever.
Never a dull moment.
No, never.
Dude, that's amazing.
And you've been driving, just so you know, Joe's been driving us around the country, but you've been driving ever since.
Pretty much. Tour buses, bandwagons, everything.
Yeah.
It's been quite an interesting venture. I do sound for a lot of tours, and then I ended up with you guys, and I kind of...
We're sorry
with the
about that.
sound, the sound production and all that, you always kind of end up driving something, so... Yeah, it's always been that way since I got out of high school.
That's
They
amazing.
told me I had to leave, so I went on the road.
God,
There you go.
I wish I could leave high school.
I
and do that.
voluntarily left.
They gave me a letter, said I missed 154 days out of the year, and apparently you can't
Whoa.
do that.
I guess that's
Yeah.
usually an issue. Yeah. I had the same thing at a job I worked at one time. It was pretty wild.
Dude, Marshall keeps telling this story about how he had a job where he didn't work. And whenever he got called into the office, they were just like, stop. And he's like, okay.
This is
And that's it.
Literally a perfect example of corporate oversight. I didn't have a manager on the team that I worked at, and for a year, my buddy and I, we would show up when we wanted to, and then I would go to the beach and surf when I wanted to, and that accumulated, God, it was like 140-something absences in a rolling 365-day period. But to call in, all you had to do, you dial a 1-800 number, it's like press 2 to be tardy, press 1 to be absent, and then that's it.
Dude,
And you just don't show up at work.
how can you trust people like that? Like, if you're a corporation, I wouldn't trust anybody. You kidding me?
No. Well, they didn't, obviously when they found out, they weren't, stoked about it.
I had
Yeah.
a great job at Ron John's. I
Yeah.
was selling surfboards, but I was also playing in a band, and they would come out to not my employees, but my coworkers would come out to the shows, and because they knew I was tired as shit, they would let me go and sleep. I'd sleep upstairs in a board bag while
Whoa.
getting paid. It was pretty
Nice.
rad.
One in Cocoa there?
No, this was in Orlando.
Oh, okay.
I guess that doesn't exist anymore there, so I don't really care about getting somebody fired. But Garrett, I appreciate you.
Yeah, hey, who's
Thanks,
that?
Garrett.
Yeah. So, what's the craziest thing? I didn't hear some of these stories, but Jackson was telling me they're pretty gnarly.
Yeah,
so-
Yeah, I got quite a few of them, and it's kind of, I just end up in situations, and, because everybody wants to go on tour and do stuff, and I did that out of high school, so
Living the dream.
going on tour, and when you tour, most of the year, and you're away from home, and you try to do any kind of relationship thing, that never works, so that always ends up being an interesting story for something.
Always,
To
dude.
where, yeah, I've had quite a few. I've been catfished once before, which I thought catfishing thing, I thought it was not a thing until it happened to me.
How bad was the catfish?
It was pretty bad, and I kind of fell all the way for it and
Oh.
spent way too much money. It was a girl that had been on my my Facebook for quite a few years, and she was mutual friends with a lot of heavy hitters in the entertainment industry that I'm friends with. It was tour manager for 3 Days Grace and Metallica,
Nice.
people I know, and she was mutual friends. Never talked to her, and then one day she hit me up. Hey, how you doing? Haven't seen you, haven't talked to you in a while, and I never really remembered talking to her, but hey, I've been friends with her for
Dude, yeah,
30
you're
or 40
you're polite.
years.
You're gonna
Yeah.
be like, man, I know.
And of course, her picture, she looks extremely hot.
Oh yeah.
And so I started talking to her and go back and forth, and this went on for probably 4 months.
Oh.
And she said she worked for Rock the Vote, which
Cool.
I thought, well, that's kind of cool. And she
Wasn't that
knows-
MTV?
I
Yeah,
think
it was
so.
MTV did
Yeah,
a thing for that. Yeah, wasn't Mike Myers involved in that shit or something? It's like,
I believe so.
Yeah, right.
Thanks,
Years
Mike.
ago,
yeah, it was old school. Then.
And she told me she worked for that. I'm like, oh, okay, she's in the industry, and it's a cool thing. So I set up a little meet together thing. She lives in
A date, it's called.
Yeah. Well, it never turned into any of that, but she lived in New Hampshire, and in New Hampshire there was Demon Jones was doing a show.
Nice. Old Demon.
In New York, not too far from New Hampshire. So I hit her up and I said, hey, I got a festival with Demon Jones, Cole Ford, doing a whole big thing. How about I fly up to New Hampshire, I pick you up, we go to the show and hang out for the weekend kind of thing. She's like, yeah, she loved it, telling me she's got this Audi, we'll just take her car, I don't need to rent a car.
fancy.
Nothing.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So night before, about to head out, get on the plane next morning. Hey,
Oh my goodness,
I'm
getting on the
not feeling
plane.
good, and my friend took me to the hospital, and I got to get dialysis. It's really bad, Joe. You shouldn't come up.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
like, we've been at this point talking for, at this point, probably 6 to 8 months. I'm like, well, flight's already booked. I still got to do a show up there with Demon. I already told him I'm going to be there. So you're in the hospital. I'll come up and visit you, bring you flowers.
Yeah, if
whatever,
you're sick,
you
I'll
know.
come and help. Yeah, come on.
So I fly up there. I land in Manchester, New Hampshire, and I get there. I have to get to Demon's show the next day or something like that, and that was the plan with us. I land, and I'm like, hey, so can I use your car? And because she knows I still got to do my show and everything. Oh, I took my car in for service. I'm so sorry. I would have gave it to you.
My car's on dialysis.
My car's yeah,
So-
sick too.
I'm sitting in the airport, and she's like, oh, it's okay. I used to work for one of the rental car companies there. I'll call them, and I'll set you up a whole reservation. She went online and set me up a reservation. So
Dude, what the fuck?
at the time,
Jesus.
I didn't have anything with me because I was planning on her doing
Yeah,
everything.
well, you had a day with old reliable.
Right.
You know.
So, and up there at the airport, you
Fuck
can't get a rental car without a credit card, and I just had a debit card on me. So, luckily, my mom works for Marriott. I went to the Marriott at the airport, stayed there, and I'm calling everywhere to try to get a rental car. I got to get to Demon's show
Yeah.
the next day, and it's a 4-hour drive or whatever. I find somebody, 4 o'clock in the morning, find a place, the hotel front lobby guy's trying to help me, everything. Find a guy in New Jersey, about a 40-minute Uber ride. I get to this place, this guy, yeah, I got you. I said, look, I don't have a credit card, I just have a debit card. You'll let me rent the car? And he's like, not a problem, man.
Oh.
Be here, I got you taken care of. I get there, I tell him how much of a hurry I'm in. Got to get to Demon's show before sound check. Demon's calling me every 5 minutes. Hey, you gonna make it, man? You got this crazy girl stuff going on, and. So I get there. It's a used car lot.
Oh, yeah, you can get a car
You-
right now. Just
you-
$6,000 cash. That's
You've
all
been
you need.
you've been catfished already.
Yeah.
Like with all this bullshit.
You've been carfished.
I
Carfish.
get there, and the guy's like, "Okay, I'll rent you this car or whatever." It's an older Nissan Altima. I don't care.
That's
I got to get on the road.
literally
Demon's blowing me
perfect.
up. I got to get to the show. Big outdoor festival. So I'm driving. I'm calling Demon. Demon's FaceTiming me to make sure I'm actually driving
Yeah,
down
I'm
the
on my
road.
way,
I'm on my way. So I'm going, and then I look in the mirror, and all this white smoke's coming out of the car. I'm like, are you kidding me? I pull over, the transmission starts gearing down. I pull over, I get off to a gas station off an exit, and I open the hood, and there's transmission fluids all over the place, like a line busted or something. I'm like, I don't care about this car. I'm gonna throw more fluid in it and keep going.
Fuck.
Poured some more fluid in it,
Get there.
and I get in the car and get back on the highway, and I call the guy I got the car from. I said, hey, look, this is what's going on. I'm back on the highway. I'm gonna see how long this lasts. Lasted about maybe 2 miles. Got off at the next exit. It's a used car place, so he doesn't have another branch down where I'm at to give me another car. So I had to make the call to Demon. I said, dude, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm somewhere. At that point, I think I was in Connecticut or something like that on my way down. And I was still a couple hours away. They couldn't even send anybody to come pick me up at that point. I was still going to miss the show.
Yeah.
While all this is going on, I'm still talking to the girl that
Jeez.
supposedly is in General Hospital in downtown Boston.
I remember that show.
So she's, you know, oh, I'm sorry. I can't believe this is happening to you. All that's going on.
Sure.
So this guy sends a car down to me. Guy gets there, I don't know what time. It was dark at that point. He pulls into this gas station parking lot. He's driving a beat up 4Runner with like a 94 Honda Civic on the back of it. He's
That's
bringing
really
to me.
that's really cool.
As soon as he pulls up, he gets out of the truck and he leaves his truck running. He comes up to walk to me and his truck dies. I'm like, I don't care about your truck. Get that car off the trailer. I'm getting out of here.
Out of here.
Holy
So,
shit.
He gets the car off. I didn't even wait for him to load the other car. I'm out.
Yeah,
See
you had
ya. I've
faith
been
at that
sitting
point.
here
Yeah.
all day. So this girl's in the hospital, General Hospital in downtown Boston. Well, I already missed the show. Let me go there.
Yeah, might as well get a kiss out of it. Fuck it.
Something.
Honestly.
I go to the hospital.
Even a handshake.
Go to the front desk. Nobody's heard of that name before in this hospital. Okay.
Damn.
So there's a bar across the street from the hospital. I parked in the hospital parking lot, walked over to the bar after I went to the front desk and with a handful of flowers looking like an idiot to
Oh.
get flowers to somebody that's not there.
Brutal.
I go to this bar and I just get trashed. Girl bartender, I told her the whole story, up to that point.
Hope you
what
got
was-
some free
Did
drinks.
you
what
give
was
her the
going on.
flowers?
Yeah.
I left him in the car, but she was really nice. She did hook me up with a couple drinks, and at this point, my return flight isn't for another 4 more days. So now I got this 94 Honda Civic, nowhere to go. My hotels are down by the show
Yeah.
where Demon is. So I get trashed, talk to this bartender, sweetest girl ever, get in the car, go to a rest area somewhere in Mass over there, and sleep in the rest area. I'll wake up in the morning and figure it out from there. So I wake up in the morning, and I'm like, well, Colt Ford's playing today. Let me just drive down there. I got a hotel reservation already. So I went down there, hung out for the day with the Colt Ford guys. I'm good friends with all of them.
Mhm.
Did that. Stayed at my hotel that I was supposed to stay at with this girl. Meanwhile, I'm telling this girl on the phone, yeah, I went to the hospital last night, bring you some flowers. And she flipped on me. What are you doing? You stalking me? Do I need to call the police? And like flipping out. She's like, I would never, I work for, you know, all these high-end musicians. I'm not going to go to the hospital under my real name. I have my
What?
fake name.
Oh,
I have my
jeez.
fake name under the, I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, now I'm like teetering of how fake is this? How real is this? Like, what is going on? So I leave down there and I was like, you know what? I've never been to Maine before. Let's go to Maine. I drove up to Maine,
Cool.
got some weed, got high.
Hell yeah.
I post something on Facebook that I'm in Maine. I happen to know a bass player up there that used to play with Pat Travers when I toured with Pat Travers. And he's like, dude, come on over. I'll take you. We'll get some chowder and this and that.
Yeah, buddy.
So went
Some
and did
crab
that.
cakes.
That sounds like a very main thing. It's like, let's hang out and get chowder,
Yeah.
dude.
So
Chowder.
I left there,
Jesus.
went back to Boston, went back to that same bar across the street from the hospital.
Oh my god.
I had know her address because I had sent her a bunch of things. I had bought her dinner a bunch of times and had it sent to her
Bro,
house.
you got played
all
hard,
kinds
dog.
of stuff. So
Damn.
I decide
Investment.
before I head down to the bar back in Boston, let me stop by, just drive by her house.
Holy shit.
So she's got this Audi. She's got all this money. I drive by the address. It's in the hood in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Oh,
and
nice.
the address, as I didn't stop, I drove by. It was like literally a falling apart building. I'm like, okay. I go back to the bar. Old guy bartender. I tell him my story all the way up to the point to where it's at now. And he had hooked me up with drinks and everything. I told him, I said, your bartender last night was really nice. And he's like, oh, I hired her because she came in here and tried to drink, under 21. So I ended up hiring her as a server, and she's been here for like 12 years now.
Oh.
Like, that's kind of a cool story, the whole backstory to it and everything. And so, same thing, got drunk, went to a rest area, slept in the rest area in Connecticut or Mass or wherever it was. And then next morning got up, what am I going to do? So I walked around downtown Boston. I never really looked around Boston. Walked around, ended up back at the same bar. Both the old guy bartender and the girl were working that night.
Oh.
So, again, while all this is going on, I have this girl still yelling and everything at me of, like, I'm the stalker
yeah.
person, and,
You didn't tell her you drove by her house, did you?
No, I didn't tell her that.
Hey, no,
But
That's
going off and off,
crazy.
and I'm like, and she's telling me she's still in the hospital, making me feel bad, like she's dying and this and that, and I'm like,
Dialysis is a bitch.
whatever. So I go back to the bar, drink all night there, and 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm hungry. Apparently there's like a 24-hour bakery in Boston that's like well known.
What?
That was like,
Boston has some really good
yeah, it
eateries,
was like
so
built in like
24-hour stuff.
1936 or something. So
Cool.
I went there, trash, probably like a 5-mile walk. I didn't care.
Yeah.
Went there, and it was the prettiest little street. It looked like a movie set, just the
Yeah.
tall condo buildings and everything. It looked
Love
like you were
Boston,
like on
man.
a Universal Studios kind of set thing. And I sat there on a park bench and shoved my face with cannolis.
Oh.
And it was the most amazing thing.
Yeah.
Now, next thing is, next morning, I got to get up, return this little Honda
Piece of
I'm
shit.
driving in New
The
Jersey
box, yeah.
to the used car lot and get
Oh
on
my
a plane
God.
and go back to Orlando. Already missed the show. All this stuff had happened.
Yeah.
The bar, it's called the Red Hat Bar, actually, in Boston.
Red Hat
And-
Bar. That sounds like that old lady club, the Red Hat Club.
It's like a really old, like speakeasy type bar kind of thing that's in downtown. And they posted a thing on Facebook of me and
Oh
thank
my
you, Joe,
God.
for coming, and you were great. And it was like, oh, that's kind of cool out of
That's
this
nice.
whole screwed up trip. So I drop the car off, take an Uber to the airport. I'm sitting in the airport. I get a beer. My flight's delayed. Flight's delayed by a couple of minutes. So wait, I was delayed maybe 10 minutes before we could board. I board the plane, get on the plane. My layover's in Charlotte. I notice when we get to Charlotte, we're like circling around the airport.
Oh.
Captain comes over the intercom. Ladies and gentlemen, just want to let you know when we land, emergency vehicles will be rushing to us. Our flaps that stop us are not working, and we're going to try not to run off the runway, basically. I'm like, so I'm sitting in my seat, and I'm like, all right, after this 4-day trip, all this happening, this is how it goes. This is how it ends. And I just like very calmly just looked out the window. I was just like, there's nothing, I have no control over this situation. There's nothing I can do.
I have anxiety right now listening to
And
this
I'm
shit.
watching us go down. I'm watching fire trucks, ambulances, everything coming down the tarmac, coming after us. And I'm like, hoping we don't go off the end.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Drive in front of it?
Right. So
We'll catch it.
We ended up landing. We went too far over the thing, so it took us a while to get to the gate. We get off the plane. I was like, well, I'm not getting on another plane. That's not happening. I've already like tempted fate a couple of times on this whole trip
Dude,
of everything.
days
So
of bad luck.
I called my sister. She lives in North Carolina. I said, hey, you got to come pick me up and take me home because I'm not getting on my layover flight back to Orlando.
Yeah.
And she came and picked me up and drove back to Orlando. And then I called all my friends that she was mutual friends with on my Facebook and hit them up. And I was like, hey, have you ever actually met this chick in person? Nobody had ever met her. And she had disappeared, at least out of my social media circle. She's probably out there still screwing people over, but another guy she screwed over reached out to me about a year and a half later and told me he did some kind of Google search thing or whatever, and the picture she was using was a cook lady thing or whatever, had a small little TV show in like Sweden or something like that.
Oh, so she even had like a fake picture.
Yep.
Ooh.
Fake picture, a whole deal. But yeah, those
What
4 days of like absolutely insane. I was like, wait a minute, I just got catfish. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it until, like, everything sunk in when I got home of this entire trip of, like, oh,
You
okay,
didn't-
so this is the
You
catfish
didn't notice that
thing.
when she told you she had multiple
It
names?
was just so confusing, the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've ended up in some crazy situations, and
You know, you want to give people
Dude.
the benefit of the doubt, you
I
know,
do, and I'm
you-
always that person to do that, and sometimes it don't always work out so well.
You know, you think,
Oh my
well,
goodness.
man, you know, they're probably not really trying to screw me over, and then all of a sudden you're like, what? There's
Right at-
multiple names and the car and the house.
Dude,
All
I
right.
couldn't like.
Just so you know, Joe, I drive an Audi.
Yeah.
You know, there's not.
What's your Facebook picture look like?
Yeah.
I mean, technically, it's a
It's great.
catfish. It is a
That's who it's
catfish
been.
per se because it's like what my profile pic's like. What 4 years old? I'm a lot
Is it?
more
You-
heavy
you, look,
set
you look
now.
the same, I'd say.
Nah,
I feel like you got a lot of
A little more
consistency.
husky.
The face is consistent.
Yeah.
I like the face.
This happened about 10 years ago, and I am still friends and still talk to the girl bartender that I met the first
There
night.
you go.
Hell
Hey,
yeah.
nice.
a
She-
positive turn.
Yeah, you
she,
made a friend out of it.
She's
That's
getting
great.
married now or whatever, and I had my first baby girl in 2020, and we share pictures of kids and stuff like that. And
Nice.
it's out of a random catfish thing. I ended up with a couple of friends up
Oh
there
my
at the bar.
goodness.
So every time I go to Boston, I try to go to the bar up there and go see them. And
Like
It's
it,
wild.
it really is amazing how like touring you like make friends across the country.
You do.
But then like you'll be like, I'll see you in 5 months.
Yeah.
You know? But like there's also like the whole like the girls you meet on tour and you're like, oh, I wonder if we'll see each other on tour. Like, how far have you ever gone for a date, Marshall?
I think this would have been many years ago. I went to St. Pete, which I thought was like it's like 2.5 hours
A
from my
2.5
house.
drive for a date.
I was like, wow, that's because then it's like another 2.5 hours back.
Dude, I've done gigs there where I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get home at 5 in the morning.
I
It's
know.
gonna be good.
I'm not gonna name any names, but I've done some gigs down there for some people, and they're usually like, "Man, you drove so far. Here's an extra $30." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Dude, this is a great gig. I want to do the gig. Thanks." I mean, I like paying for my gas, you know. But yeah, that's a pretty good drive. I don't know, man. I've always been really like broke, so I can't afford to buy like plane tickets and stuff.
I feel similar. I feel like, I guess I'm a brat because in a way, like all my girlfriends I've ever had always come to me. Like
Oh,
I'm like, oh,
Well, of
I'm
course
too
they
ti-"
do.
Like I'll be like, I'm trying, you know, and I'm always like, oh, 30 minutes is so far, and like, dude, I use the excuse like, man, I go on tour, I'm always in a fucking car. Get me out. I don't want to be in a car.
I
So
feel
usually
that.
that'll get them over to my house, which is nice.
Yeah.
You ever travel far for a date, Greg?
No,
Yeah,
Wow.
your girlfriend lives in California, Greg.
that's not a. Okay, yeah.
Well, here's the thing, like my
That's
That's true.
about it. That
I
unless
get.
you're going
yeah,
to Hawaii.
I was
that's-
gonna say no, but the first time we had a. Yeah, I went to California. That's 3,000 miles. I think that probably tops everything.
Yeah,
huh?
you
That's
crushed
pretty
me,
hot,
man.
but it worked out for you.
It
Yeah,
sure
man.
did.
Old Joe,
We went,
all
we went
Joe
straight
did was
to
get
Mexico.
drunk in New England,
yeah.
which is a
Not-
pretty cool
not
place.
a bad time.
Well,
Yeah,
I had my little wifey thing in Thailand for a little bit, so that was fun.
Do you want to tell us about them?
Oh my
It's a-
gosh.
A wife
Go-
thing
go
in
on.
Thailand. Oh man.
You don't need to tell us all the crazy shit.
No,
but,
no,
like
go
you can
on.
tell us, you know.
Dude, I haven't even been to Thailand.
I went twice for 14 days at a time each time.
Wow.
And we got flown there. I don't want to go into detail of who the people were that
Sure,
brought us
sure,
over
yeah.
there, but
Very fair.
yeah, I got flown over there first
Jack Top Thai,
class,
real
Korean Air. We were very well taken care of, and when we landed, this guy owned about 300 clubs in downtown Bangkok. And first thing when we got there after a 21-hour flight, let's go to the club. So I decided, okay, I'm not really a beer drinker, and things are weird in other countries, the water, the soda, all that. But
You gotta be careful.
Jack Daniels tastes the same everywhere.
Yeah, that's sealed in Tennessee,
Yeah,
so you're good.
So I drank a lot of that, and the second night went to the same bar. Nobody speaks English, and this little 26-year-old Thai girl I got her to come back with me. I had my own suite, had a canopy bed, everything,
Ooh.
whole thing done up. I was like, I'm gonna bring this girl with me. I got this for 14 days. Why not? So I kind of, like, at the end of the night was like, hey, you come with me. I had a blacked out Jaguar for her to jump into right out front of the club.
Damn.
So take her back to the room. We go back to the room. She puts me in the shower, bathes me, dries me off when I get out of the shower.
Full service,
Very
lays-
hospitable
Yeah.
over there.
Lays me down on the bed and takes care of everything else. So
Changes your diaper.
I've heard
and
stories like
everything.
this, but they usually end with a
Shave
penis.
your legs. I know
yeah,
the
all
routine.
the normal stuff. So
That's so sweet. That's so
the-
kind.
the next day, I was like, well, does she stay? Does she go? And I got a one of those apps where you can translate a little bit on my phone, so we kind of communicate, but even that was kind of hard. But I got the point of, hey, why don't you just stay with me for 2 weeks? So I gave her $10,000, told her to go buy whatever she wanted to go buy.
Dude, I'll be your Thai girlfriend.
Yeah,
forever.
I'm Thai, Joe.
So she got a couple of American outfits, like outfits with American flags on them and everything. I was
yeah.
her
Oh my-
little, I was her little American boy.
She did it
thing.
like to like please you, to be
Right,
like,
yeah.
what do Americans love? They fucking love their flag,
How
dude.
did you? How did you get to that dollar amount? Like you're just like, here's,
I had it
here's
in my
10 G.
pocket at the time, and I
Damn,
gave it
dude.
to her. It was in
You just
cash.
walking around with 10 G's cash
Well,
in your
the,
pocket?
the kind of
Sometimes,
the
yeah.
kind of situation that I was over there with, yeah, I had quite a
Some
bit.
spending money.
Yeah, I had a
Some
little-
pocket-
like a
money.
per diem, right?
Yeah.
You got a little
Yes.
a juicy per diem. She got a great per diem.
She did.
You got a
dude.
good deal though.
I did.
I've never been washed, Joe.
I got her the I got her the entire time. Every time we went out, when we didn't have we only did maybe 4 shows, but when we'd go out, she'd get in some hot little outfit and just there's video that's hidden somewhere right now. Actually, if you ask Demon Jones,
Oh,
he
buddy.
has more dirt on me than anybody in this world.
Oh,
John.
I will
buddy.
be asking
Hey,
Demon Jones.
Demon. What's up?
We gotta get Demon on a podcast.
So-
Oh,
honestly.
I'd love to get Demon.
But
on the
yeah, I
podcast.
had her there I was there for 14 days. Every day, my room was spotless, not by the hotel people, but by her. She washed my clothes. She would take my clothes out of the hotel, wash them, bring them back, fold them on the
you
bed.
didn't,
That
like,
usually
you
only
didn't
costs
ask her?
$1,000,
Yeah.
for like maid service.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
you-
I paid 10 grand
but
for
you
2
didn't-
weeks.
you
I got
didn't-
a deal.
You didn't ask her for that, right?
No,
Did she
I
just
I
like?
just gave it to her. She didn't ask me for any
no,
money.
like the
No, like all
the
that cool
cleaning
stuff.
up and all
Oh,
that
no.
stuff.
Because we couldn't, we really didn't talk at all.
Yeah,
we,
yeah.
We just kind of did
Okay, yeah,
happy things.
right.
Yeah.
That's
and
crazy cool.
yeah,
That's so nice.
You don't really got to communicate, and that's really a lot of the problems in marriages. So I felt that was my marriage for 2 weeks.
That's
all that,
actually
all
that's
that
pretty true,
talking.
yeah.
yeah. You
It gets
just
me in
kinda-
trouble all the time.
It's like
Marriage
the bliss,
ain't so bad,
the
is
bliss
it?
is lost in translation. That's interesting.
But so she hung out the entire time, and we kept up with each other through text for probably a couple of years after that. So the
Yeah.
second time I went back over to Thailand, and she would go over to Nana Plaza with me. And if you look up Nana Plaza, it's the world's largest adult complex.
Oh wow.
So
So
Good
brothels are
times.
legal in Thailand.
I don't.
I don't think it's legal. I think it's like it's,
Isn't
you know,
really legal anywhere, but it's kind
My
of like
understanding is,
defining
like,
laws.
if you pay the local police enough, then
They'll
whatever
they'll
happens
close their
happens.
eyes,
You
huh?
know? Yeah.
This is a place that is literally one bar after another, and any fantasy you have ever had in your entire life, no matter what kind of boy, girl, anything of whatever
you can
you
get
ever
washed there.
have, you can go into a club where they got bathtubs everywhere with women washing each other. You can.
They must be really that.
It's
That's the best. Our girls are clean.
anything
They're in the
you
tub.
want, basically. And every club is a different kind of thing, but every club is the same. Of all the girls have little numbers on them, and you have waitresses, normal waitresses like you would think at a strip club, bringing your drinks and stuff. And when you're sitting there, if you want one of the girls, for $13 in American money, you get 45 minutes.
Wow.
Go do whatever you want to whatever's out there that has a number on it. I want number 21. All right, go to this room and
Jeez.
she'll be there.
Is there a bar that has cheeseburgers with bacon and sriracha on them? Because that's like really what I'm into.
The McDonald's there's
There's a McDonald's there?
there's American ketchup and then there's Thai ketchup.
Oh,
and
What's
then
better?
McDonald's tastes horrible. The meat tastes
Oh,
horrible. They
that's gross.
told us when we go there, don't eat a lot of red meat because they don't have like a USDA.
Oh, yeah.
None of
It's
their
not-
meat
it's probably
is.
not good.
Half of it's rat shit.
Now,
Yeah.
what about like the street food? Like, I understand. Like, I watched Anthony Bourdain. I'm a big fan. and
Yeah.
he like went to Thailand, and he's like raved about the street food.
Street
and stuff.
food is amazing, and that's another thing they told us. It's the best food you'll ever have in your life, but there are also, be careful what you order and where you order because there are cat and dog.
Yeah, there's some
and
vendors that you might not want to eat from. Yeah.
There's stuff like that going on. So
Wow.
you just, if you know where to go, which we had security around us at all times to kind of point us in the right direction of where to go.
Wow.
But yeah, amazing street food. The
Yeah, Kash'd Out goes to Thailand. We don't have any security. We're just
gonna-
like, this is Joe, our audio guy.
Dude, don't
mess with
we're
us.
so lame, dude. I remember Joe told me like the second or third night. It was like, man, you guys are crazy, and I was like, oh, he means, oh, you guys are lame.
You guys are silly.
Which, like, dude, I know. Like, trust me. Like, we get called a grandpa band all the time.
Yeah.
It's great. It's
Honestly,
awesome.
I like sleeping better than
I mean,
all that stuff.
It is one thing, like, you won't have us be like, Joe, we need you to turn around and drive 500 miles back to where we were. Left somebody drunk in the bathroom. You know, that's
this
not
is-
going to happen with us.
This is very true, but
We left
I
all of
mean,
our weed in the bathroom. That might happen.
yeah.
I would turn around for that.
Yeah,
You wouldn't even
let's
have
go
to
back.
ask.
Joe's a good man.
Speaking of which, can we talk about what happened to
We
us
did.
in
We were-
Texas? Oh, you guys
you
already talked
weren't
about it.
here.
You said- Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't here for that.
That
Yeah,
was the
okay.
last episode.
That was the last
yeah,
episode.
we
All
talked
right,
about
yeah.
old Farva coming in.
Man.
Yeah.
What an experience.
Some people say he's still smelling weed.
He still smells weed, dude. That guy smells weed everywhere. He goes home
Yeah.
and he's like, "What's going on here? I smell weed."
Oh, dude, what's funny is that we never talked about like Joe's experience with it.
Yeah, that was kind of wild for me.
Because you were outside on the picnic bench just like
Well,
hanging out.
I was sitting there smoking a bowl actually for a little
Maybe
bit.
that's where he
and-
smelled weed from.
and then probably. So I got up in the cab and I was sitting there for a minute, and then I got out of the cab. On the driver's side, you guys were on the passenger side.
Oh, yeah.
We're in the woods, and I'm sitting out there. I'm like, these guys set up a light outside. What are they doing over there? So I go walk
We're
back.
mosquito farming.
Yeah, I'll go back towards the end of the trailer, and then I see the other truck pull up. I'm like, oh,
Nothing good.
don't put the pipe in my pocket. Just leave it there. And I guess I got to join this. And I come around the corner, and you guys are all lined up in a line. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, so this is happening.
Dude, we all
It's
got
pretty
patted
apparent when you
down.
come around and you see us all hands on the wall.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know if we
like-
talked about. We talked about how like the cop asked how many people were there, and we were like 6. And then like people
Yeah,
kept
I
on
don't know.
coming out, and
Yeah.
they were like, "How many people?" And it's like we just are dumb. Sorry,
I
like
was
6,
dude, there's
5,
nine,
8,
there's 9
9.
on tour, and then I look inside. I'm like, we're missing someone.
Yeah, Reggae Nick was sleeping
Yeah,
the whole
Reggie was
time,
sleeping
sleeping
the
like
whole
a
time.
baby.
Yeah, he's in his bunk, and I point to the bunk, and the cop goes, "Oh, there's somebody in there." It's like, yeah, I'm sorry. And then, I mean, ultimately, other than them confiscating all of our weed, wasn't that?
Not all of it. Joke's on them.
Hey,
That's true.
It
Yeah.
went about as well as it could have gone.
Yeah, it is cool because like that movie made me think about like how in other countries maybe their cops suck way more and they just
Yeah.
be like fuck these guys, but they like it's almost like when they were done patting us down and like assessing the situation and realized we were just dudes, they were like, man, how's Florida?
Yeah.
And we're
He
like,
shook our hands.
okay.
You could have seen.
Yeah,
like,
I was
they
like,
went
okay.
from being very tense to being very cool really quick.
Yeah.
When they realized that that's like, oh, dude, it's just a couple stoners in a van.
The
It's
most
like,
docile of the human is the
Yeah.
stoner, man.
I
Bro,
sat there I was kind of at the end of the line because I showed up late.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the cop that was down there, I just started kind of bullshitting with him. I'm
Yeah.
like, I just showed up to this party. How's it going? What you
Honestly, like
doing?"
I think because we were like that with him, that's why we got off so light. Because he was really pretty adamant about writing his citations at first,
Yeah, he was
and
talking
then he was
about
like,
it.
listen, if I don't take your weed, then you're gonna tell everybody I didn't take your weed, and then which he's not wrong. And then,
We're putting it on blast right
Well,
now.
he doesn't-
Van talk, baby.
They don't want some
Van
bad
talk.
reputation of not taking everybody's weed in Texas, because apparently, and he even brought it up. Willie Nelson knows they take all your weed in Texas.
Dude, he scanned it. He scanned this place for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I remember I was bored. I kept on looking through the window and forgetting Sarah Marshall was still playing, so I was just watching that, just trying to be like, man, I love Russell Brand. He's so funny.
Oh, he's pretty good.
The whole time, I just kept like wanting to ask him, like, "Hey, man, can we close the door? The AC's on."
Dude, me
Yeah,
too.
there's
I was
bugs
thinking
and
that
stuff.
too. I was like, man, there's bugs out here. Like,
Eventually, I
in,
did
man.
ask, and he let me.
Yeah, he
That-
did. He
oh, thank
closed it. Yeah.
God.
When he came out, he was like, all right, we'll close it.
I thought about just doing it, but I had this like this vision.
They
in
would
my
not have
mind.
liked that.
If I just
Yeah.
closed
No,
the door,
yeah.
he probably would have
He
felt.
he
I'm
definitely kept
unsafe.
it open in case he was like, get the fuck in here. There's 8 more dudes. You
Yeah.
know, like,
Yeah.
they have to communicate.
Yeah,
Fair
I
enough.
guess he was with like, in Texas, they worry about you like smuggling people. So
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
could have
a
been.
thing.
That,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure that was a concern of theirs as well. Whenever we just like kept
We-
clown carring out of the fucking door.
Dude, we fit a lot of idiots in a van. Do you know how many can we fit in here?
Oh,
if
we
we,
could fit
if we stuff
twice as
this
many
shit,
idiots. Yeah.
oh, I'd sleep. We can sleep people in the bathroom if we needed to. Oh my goodness.
I've learned that on a crazy experience too of how many people you can shove in a little SUV.
Holy shit.
When that Upchurch show that I did, that we were running from the fans because they were after us because
Yeah.
we didn't play the show.
Fucking
That was insane.
scary.
We laid on top of each other in this little SUV
Pile in.
and piled on top of each other because we had to have somebody come save us. We were on private property and the cops couldn't come save us. So it was
Wild.
absolutely
We'll save you if
insane.
you're over here.
Yeah, basically, we get back up to the tour bus and there's 10 cop cars up there and everything. It's
Jeez,
like,
man.
you know, all the rednecks down there with guns, they were after us. Like, could have came down there. It's okay.
Oh,
You have probable cause when there's a threat of a murder.
Yeah, I would think, at least.
So, it's weed, threat of a murder, the lines are blurred there. I
Yeah.
don't,
It's
Some
fine,
some
though.
cops may have come down there. If they smell weed, then hey, they're fucking in.
Whoa, whoa,
And then
whoa.
This was in, I believe, Kentucky or something like that.
Oh yeah,
so
they would definitely have been.
Nice.
backwoods kind of
Yeah.
things that go on out there. But it was somebody that had a lot of property and felt that, hey, I've never done a show before, but
Yeah.
let's put on a big concert and
Yeah,
I'll
that
invite a bunch of
happens.
people.
Yeah.
And I'll have all my security team. Well, security team was like just the local friends he knew at the bar.
Guys, yeah.
And
my
his-
security team
Hells
is
Angels.
guys.
yeah, the medic, because we always asked, you got to have a medic on site, especially
Okay.
the outdoor mud bogs, and because stuff happens.
Even
And-
dehydration, heat stroke, even that happens.
Yeah.
You want a medic for that shit.
Sure.
honestly.
A real medic. So
Not
on my
Frank.
way to the stage to go get ready to get everything for our set, I get taken there by golf cart, and on our way there on this little trail, we find 2 girls laying in a ditch. One girl's crying over her friend. They were on a 4-wheeler and they were trash.
Holy shit.
And they hit a ditch and it flipped over, and she didn't want to move her friend in case her neck was
Sure,
broke
yeah.
or whatever. So me and our manager at the time were like, yo, somebody's got to get down here. This is what's going on. We're calling up by the bus. And, okay, we'll send the medic. 20 minutes later, medic gets here in a Silverado, comes out. He's on his cell phone, gets out of his truck with a bag, goes down by her, still on his cell phone, doesn't touch her, kind of looks at her for a second, and then gets up, gets back in his truck, and leaves.
What?
Call 911's still on the way, but we're out in the middle of nowhere in the
Yeah,
woods, so they can't get
That's why you have a
anywhere.
medic.
So once the cop or the paramedics got there, the actual paramedics, they had to helicopter her out. So to do that, they had to land a helicopter at front of house out in the crowd.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
So
fuck yeah.
We had to get up on stage and tell everybody, hey, everybody move out of the way.
Yeah, we're bringing in a
landing
helicopter,
a
yeah.
helicopter to take this girl out.
Were they understanding?
No, that's
No.
that's kind of what started, getting everybody all riled up, basically. So, the helicopter comes in, they take her off, all this stuff going on. The owner of the property goes up on stage and starts bashing us.
Oh,
Church
no.
didn't do anything about this girl, and there's YouTube video of all this stuff.
Holy crap.
And so did this whole speech, and I'm on the stage. I'm getting ready to we're about to go on stage. Now that
Not
all
now.
this is kind of calmed down, I call our manager up at the bus with Ryan, and Ryan's up there waiting on my call to come down to the stage to do the show. I said, hey, man, the owner's up here ripping us right now. And they said, we're done.
Everybody's
We're
pissed.
We're
Yeah.
out of here. It's been too much today. They didn't provide the security. They didn't provide a medic. People are getting hurt. We're done.
Yeah.
So I started grabbing mic stands and pulling our gear away. As soon as that happened, it was like watching a wrestling match or something, like just an insane, wild thing. People started jumping up on the stage. I think the gear bill of what I lost was about $9,000.
Wow.
And
I would grab like the wirelesses first. I'd be
It
like,
was-
these are fucking any wireless.
We know that. So,
Absolutely
yeah.
insane. I had a console out in front of house.
You just left it?
Snake, everything. We left everything because we started running for the hills because they were coming after us.
Yeah.
We were the only, me, my brother, and I think we had
the whole band's in the bus.
Yeah, our manager and our booking agent, and we're all running for the hills up into the woods, and we're calling up to the bus like, dude, everybody's after us. What do we do? All this is going on. They're like, well, we got the cops up here, but they're saying they can't come down because it's private property. So we're literally, some of us had white shirts on, taking off our shirt. We're trying to hide in the bushes.
Holy
Seeing these
shit.
rednecks like coming up through the woods looking for us. So we got Struggles bodyguard or whatever at the time. He was there, and he got this little SUV, came out. He's like, they put together this plan that he was just gonna bum rush right into the woods with this little SUV. The deal was, as soon as he gets there, we run, and there's probably 6 of us, and it was a little Honda SUV. So we started laying on top of each other and stacked each other up.
I
just
imagine
to
a
get
Suzuki
out of there.
Sidekick, a size SUV.
Yeah, something like that. So we laid on top of each other because in our minds we're like running for our lives.
Yeah.
And
Must have
this is-
smelled
Screw the
awesome.
gear.
They're not gonna catch you and be like, sing. They're gonna catch you and kick your ass.
Yeah. So we took off to the bus, got up to the bus, all the cops were up there, and as soon as we left, it just started more of a riot because obviously at this point we're not going on stage.
Yeah.
Somebody ended up grabbing whatever gear was salvageable at that point. There were so many people that went up on stage throwing mic stands, throwing racks, throwing everything. I think I lost an audio snake, 2 wireless microphones. I mean, it ended up being about $9,000 in gear. Our DJ gear got all messed up, a few more $1,000s than that. So
We've done quite a few little backyard parties and stuff like that, but like I'm familiar with the country rock and roll backyard parties, and they are way different than
A lot of
anything we've
moonshine
ever done.
involved.
Yeah, that's totally true too.
And that
Moonshine.
changes people.
Moonshine's
Yeah.
good for me.
I played in a little blues rock band for a little while, and we did a couple of parties that were like, I could easily see it going bad real quick. One of them was a moonshine making competition where
Holy
people
shit.
brought their moonshine to have it tasted. It was a moonshine and chili cook-off. And,
Damn.
I'll
What a
tell you what,
combination.
I had a really good time at that party.
Fill your
It
stomach
was
with
a
chili.
good
Those kind
damn
of people
time.
are really proud of their moonshine. I did an event one time with a guy that I write songs with, and he's on that show, Moonshiners.
Oh yeah.
And just watching the people approach him with their moonshine, it's like they probably spent all year
Yeah.
waiting for that moment to meet him and to show him that, and he's like, I ain't drinking that shit. It's probably like floor cleaner.
Well, it's like grain and corn and so they like grow that stuff. A lot of them, you know. I mean, they're really into that.
It's a process.
Yeah.
It is a process. My brother did it for a little bit because we were doing a lot of these shows actually with Moonshine Bandits.
It's in the name.
It is,
That's
and they've
badass.
done stuff with the Moonshiner guys as well. And so we were around a lot of those people a lot. So my brother was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try it," and he did it. It came out interesting for sure.
Did it fuck you up?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
tasted like fire, basically.
Yeah,
Drinking-
that clear.
Yeah.
I like it though. It's like it'll get you real
It
fast.
will.
If that's the last one, I don't think you should put that back in the fridge. Sorry, but if I had another for you, I'd give it to you. But
I got some, but they're a little. What do
What,
they
all
call
this
them?
moonshine talk made you guys thirsty?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, take it.
Truly one of the
I
strongest.
tried to buy beer today and you told me not to.
I told you not to buy beer today?
Maybe it was yesterday.
I don't know, man. You can't. I don't. I don't know.
Don't listen to Joey when you ask him about buying beer.
Possibly. What do you think about all of our long hair? Is it cool?
I used to have long hair as well.
Really? How long to get?
It was past my shoulders, not all the way to
Nice.
the middle of my back, but almost there, kind of thing.
Did girls like it? Did you use it
I
like
got
that?
annoyed
Did you
with
use it like
Really?
that? Is that what you?
Yeah.
What you use it for, Joey?
Yeah, just be like, you want to braid my hair? That shit's like.
That's Joey's go-to fucking
More
move. dude.
Shit
girls
works.
Did the braiding of the goatee. I had it longer
Nice.
years ago, but
Yeah.
I did more of that, which is nicer because you got more face interaction when they braid.
That's
this.
It's
face
been
to
a bunch of
face.
times where I get in the van, some random chick is in there braiding Joey's hair. Like, oh, he got her.
For me, it's
got her
usually
with that
like,
move.
can you put that shit
Good one.
away so I can make out with you and not get hair all in my mouth?
Dude, I've had girls. I'm dating now. This is the past. Be like I put my hair in a bun while I'm like making love, and they'd be like, take that bun out, and I'm like, I'm not a piece of meat, motherfucker. You kidding me? I'm working here. If I could wear a sweatband, I would.
You know, it gets hot and sweaty. The hair sticks, man. It's gonna be stuck
Look,
to everything.
I think
It's not
the
ideal.
sweatband thing, I know it's an 80s thing, but people on stage, like, rock that shit, man.
I'm so gonna buy a
Dude,
sweatband
hot
now.
ass lights on your face. You're sweating your ball.
Yeah.
Dude, I've had sweat go in my eyes.
Dude, nobody understands that. Like, when you're on stage and you got those lights on you and how hot it gets, especially moving around and everything, sweatbands, I don't care how they look. They're amazing things. I think they look amazing.
We
I love the
recently,
80s.
I get
so
it. Dude, I remember it's like the 80s and 70s rock band drummers
Yeah.
rocked the
Yeah.
sweatbands. Like,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
so fucking. It was dope as
that's
shit.
when you did, like, the headbands, the wrist.
Oh, yeah, it was
you
all
did-
even-
yeah.
yeah, it was all
Even
color.
if they
Yeah,
had short
it's
hair, they
awesome.
were still wearing that kind of stuff.
Oh,
you know?
for
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
dude. My dad's a drummer. All his fucking brothers and cousins are all drummers, dude. Like, all of them are just super big dudes.
And a really good doo-wop singer too.
yeah, about barbershop singers.
Barbershop, sorry.
Yeah, I come from a
barbershop.
short line of barbershop singers.
Yeah.
just my dad.
Killing it.
But
Dude, we just recently did the hottest show we've ever played.
holy
The sweatiest
fucking
show. I guess
shit.
I shouldn't say technically the
Stewart.
hottest.
I
the sweatiest.
lost like 8
Oh,
pounds.
The
Yeah.
Terra Firmata.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Terra Firmata.
That was
We
the
did
one.
that a couple months ago with Adam, and we said the same thing. That's like the
Hot as
hottest
shit.
venue.
I love that place, but good night. I was pouring sweat.
Dude, I was
Yeah.
like, there was a part where our horn players got get off the stage, and I was like shouting at them to get me water.
Yeah, please.
Like, Alex, get the fuck over here! I need water, Alex. Get the
I
fuck
would-
over, Alex. I need
That's
water."
why I was at the bandwagon, and I kept having people run over. I gotta get them water. You know where bottled water is? I need bottled water. I was like, oh damn, all right.
Man, I actually got like sweat all in my eyes. You know, I wear a hat, like soaks up a lot of it, but man, it was all in my eyes, and it's like you're blinking, I can't fucking see shit.
Oh,
What's the biggest show you guys done that was big in your eyes? Not necessarily big, but a
Denver?
big show for you guys.
That
you
was
say?
big.
Denver.
It wasn't like
is that what you said,
Cali-
St. Pete?
No,
Which one?
Denver. Doesn't sound
Oh yeah,
anything like St. Pete.
Mission Ballroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mission
That
Ballroom was pretty
it
legit.
was with Pepper, but not just. It was on the Pepper tour, but
It was
that
Pepper,
particular
Expendables, the
date.
movement.
Yeah, Pepper, Expendables, the movement, us,
Elevators.
and the elevators. And there's like over 4,000 people there, and it was
Nice.
fucking killer.
it was.
man.
It's
Yeah,
an
it was
indoor
really-
venue that caps at 4K, and it was sold out.
Yeah, what's cool
Wow.
about that one is that, like, what I was told about it from the staff people is that when people can't play shows at Red Rocks, they played at the Mission Ballroom
Yeah.
instead. It's like that kind of thing.
It was like a brand new. At the time, it was like brand new venue.
It was awesome. And we got Chiba Hut to throw us subs there, and that was pretty banging too.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh, give me
That
a
was-
sandwich. Ooh.
that was
What-
very cool.
You
What about,
guys
like-
introduced me to that place. It was so cool.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Chiba
I'd
Hut,
never
man.
never been there before, and
It's
it's
cool.
right around the corner from.
Well, we got
my
a lot
parents'
more to
house
go
in
to,
Orlando.
so
Unfortunately, I'm leaving you guys soon.
Yeah.
which
I know,
kinda
yeah.
Are you
sucks.
leaving us at before Albuquerque or after?
Probably the day of Albuquerque.
Well, if you're there that morning of Albuquerque, You
Really?
got some free
Yeah, we got
Chiba Hut,
a
dog.
Chiba Hut meet and greet going on from
What?
11:30 to 1 or something. 11:30 to 12:30. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be in there to support you guys 100%.
thank
I'll be
you,
the
man.
one eating in the corner.
Please do take one for the road, please.
Yeah.
You were such a treat for us this little run, dude.
It's been fun. It's cool. This is nice for me because normally when I'm out on tour, when I leave you guys and my other tours I do, I'm tour manager and everything else. So I got a million things going on.
Yeah, dude, TMing is so much
Yeah,
fucking work. Like all the
it's-
email work is like crazy. Just watching Marshall do that shit.
It's too much.
I'm
It's
like,
definitely nice.
you trust everyone you email to email you back
Oh,
at a
no,
good
they don't
time?
always reply.
Fuck
It's
that.
like when
sometimes-
you start a tour, you get a list of emails you got to do,
Yeah.
quite a few hundred. And
And it's like, I'm very thorough about my advance emails.
You're on
when
top
I
of
send
it,
out
Marsh.
to the venues, and then the venue, like, you'll send it out, and it's like very specific, detailed list and stage plots and diagrams and all this stuff, and then they're like, "Hey man, can I call you and just ask you some questions about this stuff?" And it's like, I can't imagine. And usually they're just like, "Oh, hey, so what time are you gonna be there?" And I'm like, "It's like says in the thing, we'll be there at 2:00." Oh, okay. How many inputs you got? Well, we got an audio guy. We got 32 inputs, just like it says in the thing. Okay. And then what are you guys driving? We're gonna be in a bandwagon, 60 feet, just like it says in the thing. Okay. It's like the same. I feel like I'm filling out job applications or like a resume
yeah.
thing, and it's like I submit my resume, and then they're like, "You gotta fill it out again."
Yeah, it's like, dude, fuck you, man.
It's all good. It's all good though. I love it. And
I think
honestly,
part of it's also probably the level we're at, where it's like, we're not playing the biggest rooms, you
No.
know, playing some bars and shit.
I will say that our advance and our stage plots and all that stuff is like extremely thorough, and then,
It's extremely professional. We really take it serious. Every
Yeah,
element
you
of
guys
the
are
job.
definitely, I was impressed with how organized you guys are with all that, which is really cool because you don't see a lot of bands like that are doing this circuit that are like that are really care to do stuff like that, and it's really important everybody's on the same page because you can get lost out here. You get lost in your days, you get lost in
Easily.
everything.
You can, dude. It's like part of the tightness of it is focus too, you know.
Mhm.
And like we're working hard now so we can like relax as soon as possible, you know.
Yeah.
It's like we worked so hard just to be able to get into this bus, honestly, and it's just like just to afford that luxury is
You know what?
amazing.
It's awesome. I've been through and with a lot of bands that have started off, doing the van thing, or
Hell yeah.
everybody taking 5 cars to a gig.
Oh,
'cause everybody-
that sounds like the worst
everybody
shit.
took
That
their
was
little
rough.
Honda to the show kind
Uh-huh.
of thing, and I think it's great. I think people that are putting in work to it, like you guys, and getting something from it is awesome. You guys care about what you're doing, and it's working for you.
It
Even
does
if
feel
we're-
nice to kind of
does.
level up and feel like all the, what is it, 7 years that we've been doing this.
7 years of McDonald's, baby.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this is a nice, like, if we were touring in a van right now, I don't think I would feel like we've progressed as much.
Oh, I'd be like, man, I'd love to sleep good.
yeah.
Yeah, it has been nice.
It's
And
amazing.
like I also, with all of that being said, I really just wanted you to be able to be like, look, all we need you to do is put diesel in the tank and make sure that the vehicle's running and then drive. And
Yeah,
that's
we'll-
it.
we'll
I
do
don't
as
want
much
you
as we
loading
can,
in. I
honestly.
don't want you loading out. I don't want you setting a birch
That's
or
our
do
sh-
whatever.
that's
Like,
our
dude,
shitty
We
job.
got it. I want you to like, and honestly, like, once you're done driving, you can fuck off for 10 hours, buddy.
It's been nice because I've been able to get work done for my tours that I
Yeah,
have
you're a busy
coming
man.
up, so
You got a lot of stuff going on.
It's kind of, again, I left high school and it's just hustle and do it. I'm not
Hustle,
a
hustle.
person to kind of sit around, and with what I do in this industry, I'm able to kind of bounce around a lot, and I got 4 tours going on right now, but I'm able to get people out, get all bases covered, and I like
You're
people
even
amazing.
covering our bases. You're like
it's true.
swapping out drivers
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah, you're really helping us out. It's
and
amazing.
I want my people, if I'm part of a tour, I want my people to be taken care of. And even like in this particular situation, unfortunately, I got to head out, but I don't want to head out without something being taken care of and you
Appreciate
guys
It's
happy
amazing.
and, fitting you guys with a person I know that's going to work with you. You guys finish out your tour, be happy. maybe I'll cross paths with you somewhere on the road.
Man, it's a small
We
world. Like
absolutely
the
will.
fact that you work with the Duderman crew and you know
Yeah.
all those people, and it's like I didn't even know that going into this.
I love
Yeah.
that.
I contacted a guy who's like, I know a driver. He's gonna take you. I was like, great, that's awesome. I have no idea who this person is. I've never met him. And then they're like, oh yeah, but he knows Duderman and he knows the Damon and he knows all these people. It's like, oh my god. Okay, well then we know him already.
Yeah.
That's so good. I
yeah.
love that. Dude,
Yeah,
it's just
it's so small in the entertainment industry. It's
It
wild.
is, especially Central Florida area is, that's pretty much where I started with everything. With my dad, I was doing a lot of older stuff. My dad was, he provided the backup land for Percy Sledge for a lot of the Florida shows. Basically the eastern, southern
that was
part
how I
of the
worked back
United
then, right?
States.
Like they'd have like a singer and he'd
Yeah.
like rent out a band from the areas, right?
Yeah,
I remember hearing
basically.
stories of like Tiny Tim doing the same thing where he'd
So,
show up and be like,
I got
"Here
to
are my
meet-
songs."
I got to meet Tiny Tim.
What the
I
fuck,
did it.
Joe?
So, Hollywood Casino.
What?
Wait,
And-
when was
in
this?
Hollywood, Florida, right?
No.
Oh,
it was
in Hollywood.
Mississippi. Hollywood,
Mississippi. Oh,
Hollywood,
jeez.
Hollywood.
You've seen Tenacious
casinos.
D. There's a million Hollywoods.
Yeah, there are a lot. Yeah, that's
So,
true.
it was a weird thing. My dad got a call to do a gig with him, and it was the weirdest thing ever. And he passed away probably 2 months after my dad did the gig with him.
Holy shit.
So, they invited my dad to his funeral, and they did the whole thing, buried him with his ukulele. My
Yeah.
dad got to meet both of his wives because that was a big thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
he was a very weird dude.
He was a
and-
giant, right? Wasn't he
Oh yeah,
huge?
huge.
But his voice was still high even when he talked, right?
Very
Interesting.
Very high end voice kind of thing. It was weird.
But
That
it's unique.
I
man.
would
It's
say
beautiful.
him and when I went out with the Doors is probably the most two unique tours.
Dude,
and
when
things I've
when you
done.
told me you hung out with Manzark and Krieger, I was like, man, get it the
And
fuck out of here.
catering every day. They would go. We'd all sit there, hang out, eat, and everything. It was Ian Ashbury from the Cult doing the front man part. I believe it was Ty Dennis doing drums, and Phil. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Phil Shin or something like that. Little. I don't want to say Asian because he's probably not Asian, Filipino maybe or something like that. But I guess he had played with the Doors throughout years.
Yeah.
And when we were on that tour, we were in Canada. We were doing all the hockey arenas. And
God, that's
I
cool.
guess something had happened. Somebody in Jim Morrison's family had a problem with us because we were selling merch and everything that said the Doors.
The Doors, yeah.
And they had to fly out from the tour, go to court in California.
Oh, wow.
And come back. And we had to finish out the tour being called Riders on the Storm or something like that.
Close enough.
And they had to get rid of all the merch, everything.
Boned.
Wow.
That's
Tons
definitely
of-
that's
tons of
another
claws.
whole handful of crazy stories
Oh,
of
yeah,
that
I bet.
tour. Yeah.
Dude.
A lot of mushrooms involved in those stories, though.
You'd almost
Good
expect that.
time.
It's the Doors, dude,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, we would trade them backstage. You got this, I got this. Hey, we'll trade up.
Dude, children of the 60s and 70s.
I
That's so
remember
beautiful.
going in the hockey arenas up there, our dressing rooms were the locker rooms.
Oh, that's cool.
basically.
Oh, wow, that's
that's
so cool,
tight.
man.
So I
Big
remember
space.
one night, I don't even remember where it was, but drummer, bass player, a couple of the other guys sitting on the couch in the locker room, and I came in there. I just got done loading the bus, all the gear's put away, done, and I go in there. There's got a couple of girls over there. They've been popping shrooms and everything. I'm sober. I just got done loading a bus.
Yeah.
And so I go over to our little fruit tray thing, and I'm just sitting there way off. Big locker room, so I'm way off in the
Yeah.
distance. One of the girls just leaves their little conversation, comes, sits down next to me, doesn't say a word to me, and starts taking fruit off the tray and putting it in my mouth and feeding me.
Whoa.
Nice.
And this was
Hey.
back when I had my long hair. and
Oh,
all
yeah,
that,
that's-
so
Just
That's
have
what
a
did
way
it.
with the ladies, making them be hospitable to you.
Damn, Joe, what the
yeah,
hell?
it was pretty.
They take
wild.
care of you like a baby.
They do.
Nice.
That's the trick.
It's fun. It's comforting.
Yeah.
I agree, dude.
But
That's sick.
The comforting part of that always turns into something absolutely insane and crazy. 'cause, you know,
Listen, you know, it's usually not the most calm ladies that are backstage feeding you fruit out of a fruit tray.
No, not at all. And you know what? I've learned that the cool girls that are kind of like, oh wow, this girl's cool, she can do that, and after you spend like 6 months with them, it's not something you really want.
It's intense.
Oh, yeah.
There are a lot to take in.
It is.
I think about that a lot. Like whenever I found Mickey, my girlfriend, like one thing that I loved was that she didn't know like anything about like the American reggae scene, didn't know nothing about my music, and I'm like, because like before that I was like, man, I'd hate to like date someone that like had stars in their eyes, like
Right.
really believed a lot of the mythos with band shit. Because like when I'm away, when I'm in it, you're
Yeah.
fucking in it for
Yeah.
like months at a time, and
Yeah.
then like part of the great thing about Mickey is that when I'm home, I get to like have this relief of like she doesn't give a shit about any of this stuff. Like I might as well be speaking Spanish. She'd rather be like, you want to play board games tonight?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
Yeah, and
give
you
me
know what? It
normalcy.
sounds boring and everything. And I talk to friends about this back at home, and they're like, "Oh, you get to do all this." It's like, you know what? I want to come home at 5:30 and sit on the couch and watch TV,
Oh.
and like I want to try that. I haven't really done that.
Yeah, go be
It's-
like, okay, it's 6:00 on a Thursday. Let's go out to Chili's and have some fajitas.
Right.
there's a real benefit to that, really like, developing your
It
shit
is,
instead
and-
of traveling.
And like you were saying, you meet the girls that got the stars in their eyes, and I've done that where, I just picked up and left and flew to Colorado and ended up living there for a year, and that ended up absolutely horrible because it was like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that, but at the time it sounded really cool, and
Yeah.
she really liked me because I was in the band,
I know,
kind
dude.
of thing.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's a short. It's fun, but it's not lasting.
Yeah.
And you realize that. I think everyone realizes that.
It's definitely has made some interesting stories for me.
Oh my goodness.
Just flying out and like, oh, okay, I'm gonna live here now. And
Dude.
well, that's not working, so
But dude, that's extra
I live my
badass for
whole
you because
life
you've
like
done
that.
that often. Like
Yeah.
you've like done the pick up and live your life thing. I've only done it one time. Hopefully, just one time.
The
Stressful.
The only time I really had a house is when I was with my high school sweetheart, and that, of course, went really bad. Anything that ends goes really bad like that most of the time. But
Yeah, man.
that we went through this whole thing. That's what I was telling you. I lived in Maryland and worked at Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
And
Dude, we figured out. Joe worked at pizza. We have so many
Everybody's
fucking
worked at a pizza
men
shop,
in
yeah.
this fucking
Down
band.
Maryland.
Well, I think there's like 4 of us that have worked at a Pizza Hut.
Yeah,
And
Nick,
I like to think that we're a very approachable band.
Yeah.
we try to
and
be. Absolutely.
I like to think that part of it is because we all had the same customer service training.
Yeah.
Pizza Hut philosophy
Yeah.
and you.
Thank you for calling Papa John's.
Yeah,
I'd
Mine,
like
was,
to try our
mine was
specials.
North Fontana Pizza. Thank you for calling North Fontana Pizza Hut, home of the Pizzone.
Oh, the Pizzone,
Oh,
buddy.
baby, slow down.
Easy. The
I hated
Pizzone
having
talk.
to say that.
Yeah.
But dude, I took those customer service meetings seriously.
Me too. Dude, at fucking Subway, there was one time when everyone in the store said, fuck no. And it's when we got avocado. And they said, and right before you close up the sandwich, say, would you like to add avocado to your sandwich?
Oh.
And we were all like, we'd rather die right here in front of you than fucking say advocado to every human being that comes in
I
the
would rather
store.
have that than Pizzone. That just, it doesn't roll off the tongue.
It's such a made up word. Like it's like
Yeah.
we're in pizza land, baby. It rains tomato
We're
sauce
in the
here.
pizza zone. We're in the Pizzone.
We're in the pizzone. What layer of the ozone is the pizzone?
Yeah, it's the top one. The
Luckily-
cheese drips down from there.
I just made pizzas and stuff. I did the cashier thing for a little bit just because I was living with my grandparents in Maryland, so I had nothing else to do. I told them, put me on the schedule every day. I don't care. I'll do whatever.
Yeah.
You were an
And
angel to that
money-
manager.
There's money in the pocket.
And on the weekends, I would go up to Buffalo and see my high school sweetheart, and she was kind of stuck up there at the time due to her parents' situation, and she graduated high school, and I went and grabbed her. I saved up enough money living with my grandparents for a year and doing Pizza Hut. Went and grabbed her, and we ran away to Florida, got a house, and 6 months later we split up. And
Damn.
Brutal. Dude, when I moved to Florida, I found this girl on Tinder. It was my first like out of high school girlfriend situation, you
Right.
know, and like she came to my house and it was Easter weekend and her car got towed and the tow place was closed. It was Easter weekend, so she just was stuck at, you know, in her mind possibly a serial killer's house, and thankfully it was just old soft Joey,
It was just
soft
Joey.
as shit
Just
Joe,
Joey.
and like. Dude, after that weekend, I was like, you should move in with me because we're really fucking smart. We're both like 20. And
Oh,
dude,
God.
it was pretty cool because we got to do things.
Right.
But besides that, it fucking sucked dick.
Yeah.
Because like, dude, it was like 4 students living there plus me, who was like, I'm not studying. And
Man,
I've
when
got
I
a
was-
girl in my room, and she's afraid of all of you for some reason. I don't know.
And when I was coming up, dude, I had a couple rules. One of those rules was, we're gonna date for a year, we're gonna live together for a year, and then we can consider getting married. If that's
Fair.
the case.
Those are the steps.
At least 2
You
years.
had, like
quick.
rules. And
Yeah, dude,
steps
and I've
stuff.
stuck to
That's
that shit
crazy.
too, man. I had a
That's
girl-
crazy. What do you mean?
Look, it's
I got
like-
rules
Just
too.
kinda
Look, it's Monday. Time to go.
Bro, dude, let me tell you some of my rules of the road, Joe. Dude, when it comes to like trying to like find love and hook up with someone, there are 2 rules.
Mhm.
You gotta be attracted to me, and you gotta be nice to me. Now, when I tell these rules to some people are like, I dismiss the second rule, and I'm like, bro, you dismiss people being nice to you? They're like, yeah, if we can do it. And it's like, bro, you gotta be nice, dog.
Yeah.
Gotta
Yeah,
be
definitely.
nice.
Yep.
I thought you were going to talk about the laws of Intuit.
Oh, also the rule of Intuit. If I'm into it and you're into it, that's all the people that need to be into it.
That's all that needs
That's
to happen.
it.
And it,
Yeah.
dude, and that rule
Doesn't
fucking,
matter.
that shit fucking, it's almost like deal or no deal, but it's like come or no come, you know?
There you go.
True. That makes a lot of sense.
Because at that point, because here's the thing, when you say that, it kind of says, fuck your idiot friends.
Fuck
We
my
like
idiot
each
friends.
other.
Yeah.
We
Let's
used
go.
to give Joey a lot of shit for his...
That's how the rule
His
of Intuit
choices.
came to be. But it's a good rule. I like that rule. That's honestly, that's the rule that matters.
Yeah, what do you mean? It's my life, dog.
Stayed away from a lot of rules, but
What? I'm trying to make it out of
It's
here.
probably caused a lot of things, but it's been fun. I mean,
These aren't hard and
I'm-
fast rules. These are not. These are not make or break rules.
Flexibilities.
Yeah, there's
Involved everywhere.
Another
It's
rule
been
is you
more
got to
like,
be flexible.
You're drunk enough. I'm drunk enough.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
don't like each other, but
Dude,
we're still gonna
Isn't
do it.
it great whenever you're both drunk enough and you give each other that look of like, I can't talk. We both can't talk words, but we know.
We can't
We
talk
know,
words.
and you're looking at each other and you're like, let's go. You know, where it's just like we're drinking
No
to
words
avoid
needed.
actually discussing things.
This is happening now.
And now, being in this industry like I have, as long as I have, now I'm 40 years old, and
Looking great for 40, Joe.
thank you. I kind of look back at it because I've always been the nomad, you know, and friends at home and all that, and I left high school, and I've lost a lot of friends just because it's hard to keep up, you
You
know.
haven't lost those
especially-
friends. You just don't. You don't talk to them as frequently. Yeah, that's okay.
Well, I mean, they kind of we had a kid and then we got married, and
Yeah.
I'm still on tour.
Oh, I got a kid, I
Drinking
got
some
a
Jack, cat's gone. You know?
I
That-
feel like
that's
my
like-
family is like
Yeah.
that with my...
Dude, I mean,
he's still doing this thing, huh?
Yeah, it's now that I'm older, and it's like, and I remember people telling me when I was on the road, oh, when you hit 40, you're gonna hate that you're living like this, and it's like, you know what? I've enjoyed every bit of it. A lot of it has
Yeah.
sucked, and I've been in horrible situations, but I look at it now, it's like I learned some shit, had some fun.
Street
Hell yeah.
smarts.
Yeah.
That's what
Dude,
that
It's
is.
adventures,
It's
man.
a-
These are all adventures.
It's a beautiful life because it's so different than like
is.
what you're taught in high school and all that shit.
Oh yeah, you're gonna
You know,
work
they're-
9 to
they're-
5 and
yeah.
settle down and have a good job and a dog and
Yeah, they didn't teach me how to wrap a cable in high school.
No,
No.
over under, baby.
They didn't teach me how to
coil a cable,
load
Joey.
load in a bus and like.
As you
10
guys were
minutes.
like all... So for the past like 4 days, I've woken up to you guys for... It's like 4 hours at a time in the morning talking about Pokemon.
Yeah,
And
it's a big event this
it's
weekend.
kind of driving me bonkers, I'm not going to lie. But as it was driving me bonkers, I was like...
It's fun.
just thinking like, God, these guys need to like get a job or something. And then I correct myself. I'm like, damn it, this is their job.
This is the job. This is it.
We're here. We're clocked in.
I'm clocked in right now.
I mean,
clocked.
seriously, like
Don't get
between
paid
the
hourly,
hours
though.
of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., we're either riding in a bus or a van.
No, you guys are. You're like.
Or we're playing Pokemon.
Oh,
basically.
let's go to a raid.
Walking around in circles
got a
in
shiny
the parking
syphilis.
lot, the Hatchinade.
I hope I don't get a shiny syphilis.
Nobody wants a shiny syphilis.
Shiny syphilis. Look at mine. It's a different color.
You keep getting girls in Bangkok, and you guys, you never know, man.
Everybody has their thing,
My Thailand is Pokemon.
Hey, this is the rule of Inuit. Whatever you're into, as long as it's you
That's
and
it,
it's
baby.
consenting adults,
You
you're
got a
Rule of
shiny
Intuit.
syphilis, and I got a shiny syphilis, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters, baby.
Oh,
You know
man.
what? I think this is a good way to end the podcast.
Yeah.
Joe,
Joe, you've
wonderful.
been a pleasure to have on tour and on our
Thank you.
podcast.
and reliable. Thank God you're awesomely reliable.
A
Thank
legend
you.
Absolutely.
of sorts. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been great. I'm glad I got to do this with you, and for future reference, I would love to do it again at some point. And
Absolutely.
We'll call you. You just got to be available.
We'll work
Yeah,
something
that's
out.
the
Yeah,
hard
that's the
part.
hard part. Yeah. Joe is going on to another tour after this, and then another tour after that, and then another tour after that, and I'm sure there's probably something after that too.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
got tours all the way up till April of next year right now.
Yeah,
That's
good man,
badass.
good for you.
Living the dream.
Dude, that's awesome. Being busy in this industry is great.
Everything's picking up. Everything's taking off. I'm happy about it. I'm happy you
Nice.
guys are out. I'm glad
Yeah.
all of us are out. Everybody in the entertainment industry right now that's out working that luckily didn't have to fall back to whatever else they ended up leaving the music industry for. I'm glad we're all out doing something.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Survivors.
We'll do our
man.
best to outbid your other tours, but don't count on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't count on that. Yeah. We'll be like, there's some money involved.
It's
Well,
like,
hey.
we got Chiba Hut sandwiches, man. That's
Yeah,
what
I'm
we
glad
that's
you
what we
mentioned
got.
Chiba Hut because I was just about to say we need to shout out our sponsors.
Yeah, that's true.
Chiba Hut,
Wonderful people.
One Plant, SoCal Smoke Shop.
Dude, Dad's Elixir
Dad's
dropping the French
Elixir,
toasted.
It's out now.
French
I
toasted,
can get
cannot wait to drink it and be like, I can't spell anymore.
Bada just got some and was saying it was really
That's
good.
right. And also, In-Ears Audio.
oh, dude.
Nice.
Thank you, In-Ears.
Don't forget our boy Speed King signs, man.
Speed
They,
King
they
signs.
printed all of our goodies
Speed
for this tour.
Kings keeps
We'd
on
be
being
nowhere
like,
without
damn.
our sponsors. That's
Yeah.
how we're in this
That's how we're
vehicle
here,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, we're lucky to have
So-
such friends.
Yeah, it's been great. You guys have been great. Thank you for listening to Van Talk.
Thank you, fam.
We'll see you on the next one.